Hi, I'm Thomas Huddleston. I'm an international expert on citizenship and diversity, and I'm volunteering with Vote Brussels, a campaign with the Brussels region to reach out to the international community ahead of this October's local elections. Do you know how many internationals there are here in Brussels? Almost 300,000 potential voters. We could be 1/3 of all voters in the local elections this 13th of October. And in some communes, like Etterbeek, Ixelles, and Saint-Gilles, we could be almost half of all potential voters. Who are we? We're French, Romanian, Italian, Spanish, Polish, Portuguese, Bulgarian, German, Greek, Moroccan. We are from all around Europe and all around the world. We are almost 300,000 potential voters, 1/3 of the city. And this is important to make Brussels a cosmopolitan and responsive democracy. For example, do you know who this man is? It's Philip Close, the mayor of Brussels City, Brussels 1000. He got the most votes in the local elections in 2018. Do you know how many votes he got in 2018? He got 8,501 votes. Well, how many internationals were signed up to vote in Brussels 1000 in the 2018 local elections? Only 16% of internationals, or 7,254 votes. And if they had all signed up to vote, what percentage of the electorate would they have been? 35% of all voters, or 44,481 votes. So who in the end has the power? You do, we all do, as ordinary citizens. The number of aldermen and city council spots in our local communes depends on the size of the population. But the number of votes that you need to get elected depends on the size of the electorate. So if fewer internationals sign up to vote, it'll be easier for politicians to get elected. But if everyone votes, then Brussels will become the most cosmopolitan democracy in the world. Politicians will have to be more responsive to ordinary citizens like you and me, and we will get one big step closer to the commune that we want. So what can you do? Well, every 6 years, we have our local elections here in Brussels, and you vote for the city councillors. They will then vote for who will be the alderman and the mayor. And when you vote, you can vote for the party list, or you can vote for specific candidates on that list. And that rearranges the list and has an effect on who actually gets a city council seat. You can even vote for EU citizens who are running for the city council. And we have more political choices here in Belgium than in most countries. You can vote for any national or local list, and they are currently represented in the city councils, aldermen, and mayors all across Brussels. These 2024 elections in Belgium are going to be very close. The polls suggest that a lot could change here in the Brussels region, and that could mean major changes could happen in your commune. So you should look for which of the parties care about the issues that you care most about. A great tool is the test électoral, which is going to go live this April from the RTBF and Belgian universities. You can find this information by looking up test électoral. At the local level, we have more power in Belgium than anywhere else in Europe. We can ask for changes in our streets, in our neighborhoods, in our security, our services at City Hall, in our quality of life, because our communes are responsible for all City Hall services, the cultural, social, and sports facilities, daycares and school infrastructure, support to the local economy and housing, most of the parking, traffic, and mobility rules, the police and public security, most public works, parks, and public spaces, the trash pickup in your public trash bins and the street cleaning, most of the urban planning and environmental permits, and even responsible for the welfare offices, or CPAS, that offer support to vulnerable groups like the unemployed, the elderly, and migrants and refugees. So, what's most important for you when you're going to be voting this October? For me personally, I signed up to vote because, well, with everything that's been happening over the past few years, I feel like I've really gotten to know my neighborhood really well. I know what I love about it, I know what it needs. And with everything else going on in the world, I realize that Brussels is really my second home. And I want to improve life here. I want there to be opportunities and refuge and a future for everyone. So, what can you do? Well, the problem is most internationals have not voted because people like you did not get the right information in time on why your voice matters, but also how to sign up. Signing up to vote and voting in Belgium is probably one of the easiest things that you're going to do in Belgium. All registered EU adults can vote as long as they are age 18 by election day on October 13th. They also have to be registered as a resident at the commune, or maybe have a special ID card if you're working for an international organization. And non-EU citizens can also vote if they have had a permit in Belgium for at least 5 years. So since the 31st of July, 2019. But what you have to do is you have to sign up as a voter before the deadline, 31st of July, 2024, which is 3 months before the election. Now, if you've got some frequently asked questions, you can get those answered in French, Dutch, or English from the Brussels region. But in short, how do I sign up? It is the simplest thing to do. You can sign up online with the electronic card reader or with It's Me, or you can drop off the simple form at your commune. There's no need for any other documents or appointments or queues. Well, what if you sign up after the 31st of July? It's too late for these local elections, but you'll be registered for the future local elections. What if you've signed up for the EU elections? Is it the same? No, you have the choice about where you vote in the EU elections, and you can decide whether or not to vote here in the local elections. If you voted before already in the local elections in Belgium, you don't need to re-register, even if you've moved communes, and you can check your registration on the registration website. Are you obliged to vote forever in Belgium? No. If you move abroad, you're automatically deregistered, and you as an international voter can also deregister at any time by simply informing your commune. Will voting here affect your job or your status or your taxes or your voting rights in Belgium or anywhere else? No, 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 no. Your voting here in Belgium is secret and it's not shared with anybody else. Voting is obligatory. Will I be sanctioned or fined? You really don't need to worry because obligatory voting is flexible in practice. Obligatory voting is part of how Belgium guarantees that all voters are treated equally and are represented. But you or a proxy just need to go to the voting station. You can even vote blank or spoil your ballot if you want. And the key is that you can also vote by proxy. So if you don't know if you're going to be here on election day on the 13th of October, or if you're sick or working, it's no problem. You can easily vote by proxy with the proxy form. So this October, how are you going to make history? The international community in Brussels has contributed so much to its economy, to its cosmopolitanness, to creating the capital of Europe. But they've also contributed in political life and as ordinary citizens. For example, did you know that before the 1970s, the Grand Place was actually a parking lot? And it was thanks to mobilization of the international community through the Bulletin, one of Brussels' English-speaking magazines, that citizens came together and organized a sit-in to call for this UNESCO World Heritage Site to be given back to Brussels residents. And through their mobilization, Brussels residents got back the most beautiful square in Europe. And that action by the international community inspired activists in 2012 who also organized a citizens sit-in on the Boulevard Anspach. And that picnic led to the pedestrian zone that we all now know and love. So this October, how are you going to make history on the issues that you care about? Just remember that you need to sign up as soon as possible before the 31st of July online at inscriptions.elections.fgov.be or by mailing and dropping off either the EU citizen form or the non-EU citizen form. But just make sure you do it as soon as possible. And thank you for becoming a voter. If you've already voted or signed up, thank you for doing your part, but your voice won't really count if you don't also make sure that your family, your friends, your neighbors, and your colleagues all come together as 1/3 of the city to create this cosmopolitan democracy. So make sure that you share this video and share the Vote Brussels campaign. Volunteer with us, and let's make Brussels the most cosmopolitan democracy in the world.